So I was rewatching episode 4 recently, and I totally missed half of this scene before when I had originally watched it. So we obviously have the end of the laser tag scene. It's the final point. There's Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. Belly's running towards Conrad. Conrad's like running towards Belly. They're both going towards each other. And Jeremiah comes out of nowhere, being a lurker that he is. I feel like he's like that throughout the entire season 2. He's always like creeping around the corner. He probably is in like season 1 and we just don't even realize it. But he comes out from around the corner, grabs Belly, steals her, and Conrad has the opportunity to shoot and get the point. Well, what I didn't realize is that I think it's either Steven or Jeremiah. They say last point wins it all. Well, Jeremiah wasn't the one that shot at Belly. Conrad was. And it's total foreshadow for season 3. Because, spoiler for people that still have not read the books, Conrad and Belly get back together in season 3 and get married at the end of season 3. So, I feel like not only was it foreshadowing for the end of season 2 with Jeremiah grabbing Belly and like stealing her away from Conrad, but it's even deeper foreshadow for season 3 and what we're about to see in the upcoming season and her getting back with Conrad, because Conrad got the last point and Conrad wins it all.
Jeremiah is not just a manipulator, he is a manipulator by the means of triangulation. And since there's lots of conversation about trigonometry and love triangles this season, let's talk about what triangulation is. It is any time you insert yourself into the relationship of two people where it's none of your business. Or if you are a person in a relationship with another person, okay? It's just the two of you. You bring someone else and insert them into the relationship to benefit you in some way or confuse the other person. Like, let me explain, okay? First of all, all of the people who are like, of course Jeremiah's upset. She kissed his brother. And they're like quoting Jeremiah's like emotional outburst. I'm telling you, you guys are taking that emotional statement at surface level, because let's peel that back, okay? If he had a problem with Belly hopping brother to brother, maybe when he was the only one of the three of them who had full knowledge of everybody's clear feelings, maybe he should not have inserted himself and pulled Belly away from Conrad to kiss him. Like, do you not understand that? Do you not understand the hypocrisy of, if he had an issue with Belly going from brother to brother, he's the first person to introduce that kind of a situation. And he himself tells us he knew they were inevitable. So he literally just screwed them over, cheated them, distracted them, sabotaged them, and then inserted himself when he knew he was risking everything. KKK, but that's not all that he does with triangulation. Jeremiah, every time he has beef with somebody, he brings someone else into the conversation. Book 1, Jeremiah tells Belly his feelings. He brings Conrad into it and he says, why does it always have to be Conrad? You know, he will never feel that way about you. And that is what's disgusting. He makes Belly cry. He makes her cry because he takes her deepest fear and insecurity, and it's a lie, by the way, and he uses it to break down her defenses and get her to like him back. With Belly, all throughout season 2, he uses Susanna. He constantly is like, oh, great, it's not like my mom has cancer or anything. Then again, when he has blown her off the entire year, he brings in Susanna and is like, well, I'm going through all of this pain. It's your responsibility to fix this grief for me. Then with Conrad, he brings Belly into the conversation where he has no business commenting on anything about their relationship or breakup, which he knows nothing about. And he does this deliberately because he knows this is the thing that will hurt Conrad the most. Okay, so this person is trolling a little bit in my comments, but what they're trying to express is, oh, didn't Conrad just admit that he purposely was trying to screw up Jeremiah and Belly and get in between them? by telling Belly that no, he was lying. Like, do you not, no, this is what was happening, is Conrad told Belly that he still loved her. And then in the morning, he took it back because he knew that by him telling her that, it was getting in between the two of them. And so he took it back because he wanted her to be happy. Also, he may have put 2 and 2 together, and when he woke up and saw both of them were gone, you know, like, he knows her better than Jeremiah does. He may have put 2 and 2 together and realized, oh, she's probably gone to choose him and talk to him first thing in the morning. And so he took it back and was like, I'm not going to stand in the way anymore. He didn't hold anything over her head. He said, oh, like, yeah, I was just doing that to, like, be a menace. Because, number one, then he can take it back. And, like, she doesn't have to think about it anymore. Number two, he can blame it on himself being just a jerk. And then he can make Belly hate him, which, you know, just helps her in her decision to go off to Jeremiah. She doesn't even have to think about him. She can just think, oh, he's just such a jerk. But he was lying. That's not why he did that. We clearly saw him have a conversation with Jeremiah where Jeremiah told him to tell her that he loved her. So we know that's not what his intention was because of the dialogue he had with Jeremiah and what Jeremiah told him to do and for what reason he told him to do it. He lied so that she would be able to let him go and fully go on to be with Jeremiah. This was like an act of goodness and selflessness.
So for some odd reason, I decided to rewatch the finale. And I don't know if anybody noticed this, the scene where Belly and Jeremiah are leaving the motel. And after they abandon Conrad and just decide to be together, they're horrible. And Belly is going into the car and Jeremiah is kind of following after, holding her bag. And what do you see in the bag? Frickin' Mildred. Mildred is not flat Stanley Belly. You don't need to carry the giraffe around everywhere. Junior Mint is the true and only MVP of this show. And frankly, I did think he deserves better. He is safe at the cousin's house with Conrad. We know Conrad will protect him because Belly clearly isn't. But I don't know if anybody noticed this. Like, and yeah, it's probably her bag that she brought to cousins. And it's just like her like carry-on bag, which I don't know how she fit all the clothes in that was there like all week in that small little bag. She probably wore like, well, I think she wore the same thing for like 3 or 4 days, but that's besides the point. But yeah, freaking Mildred being carried around by Jeremiah, like Jeremiah's representing Mildred. Like, nope, will always be Junior Mint, MVP of the show.
Okay, but Conrad, all of season 2, giving Belly, like, literally all of his shirts. Right, like his sweater on their trip to the beach house, his brown sweatshirt, and then he reveals in episode 8 that he was also going to get her a Stanford sweatshirt. It's giving this.